Why do we care so much about what other people think? It's this question that can honestly hold us back from, well, just about everything. In this explainer, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea for how to finally let that go. So, our journey actually starts way back, like nearly 2,000 years ago, with the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. And he said something pretty incredible. He argued that obsessing over what other people think of you, it literally keeps you from doing anything truly useful. It's a huge idea, right? But what does that even mean? Seriously, what was he getting at? Does being useful mean, these huge world-changing gestures? Or is it something a little closer to home? To figure this out, we're going to leave ancient Rome behind and jump into a much more modern story. Okay, I want you to picture this. A small, kind of hidden bar in Shinjuku. It's not your average spot. This is a place for people who are looking for something a little more than just a drink. And get this, it only opens its doors when the clock strikes midnight. Inside, well, a very different kind of conversation is about to kick off. And this is Himari. She walks in, takes a seat by herself, and the conversation she strikes up with the bartender, man, it gets right to the absolute heart of the question we're asking today. And listen to what the bartender says. It's almost like he's quoting Marcus Aurelius directly. He makes this really bold claim. He says that your attachment to what people think is the one thing holding you back from being useful. Whoa, that's a direct challenge right there. So Himari, just like most of us, would be totally confused. I mean, it sounds like a complete contradiction, doesn't it? Don't we need to care what people think just to get by? To succeed, to be a decent person? Okay, and this is where the bartender reveals the absolute core of the idea. He connects being useful directly with being authentic. He basically says the most useful thing you can possibly do for the world is just to be yourself. That's a fascinating thought, isn't it? And of course, Hamari asks the exact question that's probably bouncing around in your head right now. How is me just being me useful to anybody else? It sounds a little self-centered, right? Well, the bartender has the perfect analogy for this. His whole explanation boils down to a simple but absolutely brilliant metaphor that just unlocks this entire concept. And that metaphor is a tree. I want you to really think about the shift in perspective. A tree, it doesn't try to be useful. It doesn't strain to produce fruit or make oxygen. All that amazing, valuable stuff, it's just a byproduct of the tree being a tree. It's the result of it overcoming obstacles like finding water or reaching for the sun. The bartender's point is that our usefulness works the exact same way. Okay, so if our value, our fruit, comes from overcoming obstacles, what's our biggest one? It's not a drought or a cloudy day. For us humans, the biggest obstacle is our deep, deep attachment to what other people think. That right there, that is what stops our growth. This really leaves us with two very different paths. On one path, you focus on just being you. And yeah, that means you have to be willing to disappoint some people. You're going to violate their expectations. The other path, that's where you focus on pleasing others, avoiding any and all risk. And what happens? You end up living as a version of yourself that somebody else designed for you. But here comes the big counter-argument, the real-world problem. Himari pushes back. She says, look, I depend on what people think of me to survive, for her job, her relationships, her spot in the world. It all feels like it's riding on what other people think. And she's not wrong, is she? We all feel that pressure. The bartender has a name for this. He calls it the prison of opinion. It's a place where you feel secure, sure, but that security is totally conditional. It only exists as long as you keep performing a role, as long as you keep meeting everyone else's expectations. It's not based on who you really are. And this is where the bartender just flips the whole idea of security on its head. He asks, if you have to trade away your authentic self, basically your entire life, just to feel secure, what's the point? What is there even left to secure? So the path forward isn't about building better walls, it's about finding freedom. Just like the tree has to break free from its prisons of drought and shade to finally bear fruit, we have to break free from our mental prison, that attachment to what people think. And here's the key. Our fruit, our true value, is the natural result of becoming free. Okay, so naturally, the next question is the practical one. Himari's like, okay, I think I get it. So what's the secret sauce? How do I actually produce something of value? How do I grow that fruit? And right there, the bartender stops her. He says, nope, that's the wrong question entirely. See, focusing on the output, on the fruit, that's exactly what the tree doesn't do. The right question, it isn't about producing something, it's about becoming something. The real question is, how can I become free? Free from that constant need for approval, free from the fear of letting people down. Because once you find that freedom, the value, the fruit, it just happens. So this is what true usefulness really boils down to. It's not about the things you do, it's about who you become. It's the strength, the wisdom you gain by learning to overcome your own stuff. Because only then can you actually help other people overcome theirs. Your freedom becomes your greatest gift to everyone else. So at the end of the day, we're left with this choice between two very different kinds of security. You have the prisoner's security, which is really just an illusion that you buy by trading away your life. Or you have true security. And that's not something you chase. It's a byproduct of your own freedom. It's that deep, real confidence that only comes from being authentically and usefully yourself. And so that leaves us with one final big question to think about. In your own life, with the choices you make every single day, are you building the walls of a secure prison, always looking for that next hit of approval? Or are you cultivating the growth of a free tree, focused only on becoming who you were always meant to be?